Hello everybody, back again for some more stuff, and today I am packing up to go to my dad's place. Um, yeah, because I have to go to my dad's because it's closer to the university that I am going to be doing my grad school interview at tomorrow. And that means that I have to go sleep there for the night and then wake up bright and early at roughly 6 a.m., which is not nearly as bad as I had anticipated, honestly. I have to wake up around then, and from there, I will get to work. Okay, I'll wake up early, and then I'll go to my interview. So, yeah. Last time I left you hanging on that cliff about something. Hold on, let me go check what it was. Hey guys, I just went and checked. I was gonna tell you about my funny moment, my funny experience at the Chinese restaurant, which is so funny. I was basically sorry, I was just turning off my monitor right now. So I went to this Chinese place with my mom, right? And we walked in, we're a party of two. They're very accommodating, they're very kind, and I've been there before, and it was super normal. But this time, they were like so. Oh my gosh, I almost just forgot all my stuff. Hold on, let me focus up, guys. Let me focus up. Let me focus up right now. Let me let me lock in. I need all this. I need this. This has clothes. This has laptop. That should be all I need. Okay, I'm off. Oh, hey Kai, I'm leaving.
Alright, bye.
Godspeed.
Good luck in your interview.
Thank you. I won't need it. Meh. I hope not. Bye. Guys, I bet he doesn't even know he's in the PEGCAST right now. My whole backpack is open. My whole backpack is open, and I didn't finish packing. Oh, this is a travesty. This is a travesty. Let me check. Okay. 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 I forgot something. Okay, bye for real this time.
Good luck.
Thanks. Okay. Now I really don't think that he knows he's on the PEGCAST. What I had just forgotten, everybody, was um, I went to. I guess I'm leaving hanging on that cliff again, but I just went to because I'm leaving and I have to wake up super early. I'm gonna bring one of the frozen breakfast sandwiches that I keep in my dorm, and I have them in my dorm because um, sometimes they don't always have great food for a vegan, and because of that, I have to have something as like a backup. So, where did I park? Wait, I remember thinking it was like a good spot, right? Or was it downstairs? Was the upstairs full? The upstairs was full, and it was down there. I remember. Guys, I'm thinking about the PEGCAST. Without the PEGCAST, I never would have remembered. Um, but yeah, sometimes they don't have the best food for me as a vegan. So, because of that, I had these breakfast sandwiches, and I wanted to bring one tomorrow in case I need to eat that, like in a pinch, in a rush, before I go off tomorrow. And I had forgotten it. I have a pocket of my backpack right now that is, well, first of all, my backpack is waterproof. Like, water doesn't leak from pocket to pocket or get into the pockets. I mean, like, there's some that's bound to get through a zipper, I suppose, but that's the only place it could get in, really. So I have one pocket of my backpack that's dedicated to, like, stuff that is a little wet. So I have a water pick that I'm just, like, over-prepared for this, really. I have a water pick because if, like, something is a little stuck in my teeth, because I have, like, a little gap because of a wisdom tooth, if something is a little too stuck in my teeth, I'm going to use my water pick to get it out. And what am I saying? I'm going to use the water pick to get it out, and then I also in there have an orange juice, because I feel like orange juice is an awesome fuel. Guys, who thinks that orange juice is an awesome fuel? And I have the breakfast sandwich, and it's frozen, so it's gonna like get some condensation on there. Okay, let me take out this from my pockets, and then I'll take this out as well because it looks like it's gonna fall. And then let me turn off the Bluetooth, and you guys are gonna get a nice little experience. You're gonna get a nice little experience. One sec, guys. One sec. What's up, guys? Turning on the car. I just turned off my Bluetooth and restarted the recording because I paused it and then had to hit edit, and then whenever I do that, it like makes it take a long time to load when I finish. I don't know. So I just thought it would be better to give myself a fresh start. I have to remind myself not to talk that loud though, so you're gonna have to keep your hand on that volume knob during this PEGCAST, to be honest, because the levels may change depending on where I am. The levels may change. But I'm going to try to remind myself not to talk too loud because I don't want to ruin my voice the day before I have to use it. Right, everybody? And listen, I can ruin my voice and keep going for the Penguins. I can. Oh, and guys, somebody remind me at some point during the PEGCAST so I don't forget that I really wanted to talk about something in the last episode of Haruhi that I watched that really spoke to me. I wanted to talk about something in Haruhi, everybody. So something that's crazy right now is I'm not wearing my ring or my locket because it just wouldn't fit right. And I don't want them to think that I'm married because I'm not. So, you know, it's just weird not wearing any of my cami related jewelries. Okay, let's go through the list of all the stuff I was saying. I talked about how I was packing a breakfast sandwich. I explained why I had them. Kai doesn't know that he's on the PEGCAST. I didn't tell you what you're hanging on that cliff for yet, though. And then I have to talk about Haruhi. And I also have to talk about where I'm going. No, I explained that in the last episode. Oh, this is what I have to do. I have to take off my little parking permit. Not because I actually have to, but because I don't like the way it looks. I don't like the way it looks. Oh, and I have to remind myself where I'm going. I'm going to the gas station. And I'm going to go to a Sinclair. So this is a Sinclair. Because they have Dino Care with their gas. You get unleaded with Dino Care. And you just don't see anywhere else doing that. You don't get unleaded with Arco Care. You get it with freaking Dino Care, the Dino, at the Sinclair. They got me wrapped around their finger, to be honest. Really, it's because they're the cheapest gas that's near me. But yeah, so I go to this Chinese restaurant with my mom, right? And we got seated almost instantly, but they were like, hey, we're gonna seat you right here, and then we'll move you to a side booth as soon as one opens up, okay? So we'll give you some menus so you can look at your stuff, and we'll seat you right here. And we're sitting like kind of in the middle, and it's a very small joint, you know? It's a very small Chinese place. And for that reason, it feels a little like cramped when you're sitting in the middle, but at the same time it's like, well, why can't we just sit in the middle? We're like a party of two. Like, it's not that serious, you know? It's just not that serious. So yeah, we sit down and we start looking at our stuff, and then we're just like gonna order, because the person who told us that we were gonna be moved is not the same person that is our waiter. So our waiter walks up and he is like, hey, like, would you like me to get anything started for you, or would you like any drinks or whatever? But he doesn't say it like that. He says it very nice and formally, because he's a friendly old man. And we were like, no, it's okay, we'll just both get waters. She was like, just a water for me. And I was like, me too, just a water. And then he's like, awesome, he gets us our water. What they don't tell you is that the waters, they come in these tiny little cups. They come in these tiny little cups, the waters in this establishment. That's what they don't tell you. And am I going the right way? I feel like I'm going the right way. Pretty sure I'm going the right way. Pretty sure. But I'm not going the way I normally go to the Sinclair, so I'm gonna have to be cognizant and mindful about where I'm going. But these water cups, they're so small, and the way they remedy this is they just constantly have someone walking around on the floor, like pouring water for people. And they had this new guy who was like pretty young, like I think he was maybe a senior in high school or like a freshman in college or something. He seemed like older than a high schooler, but he was relatively young, you know? And he and he was just like so bad at his job. It was so funny. Like, the owners were like very overbearing, or not the owners, but whoever was working there at the time. They were like super overbearing, I think, towards him. And he was just like so anxious from it, I guess. I don't know. But he walks over with this water pitcher and he puts his hand on the top of it, like he's gonna pour it like a teapot. And he pours it into, my little cup, but he's pouring it from too high up because he's like doing it fancy or something. So he pours from a little too high up and it splatters everywhere, and then he pulls it away before he stops tilting it as well. So it just like spills all over the table a little bit. And I was like, oh, this poor dude. And I waited until he left, and then I just started laughing. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it was funny. And my mom didn't notice this, but this is just to remind you, there was one lady that was treating us kind of like weird. Like, she was, the main lady that was working there was like, we'll move you as soon as a seat opens up. Just like figure out what you want on the menu and we can have you like seated right here for now. And that was just weird. That was just strange. And so, you know, we get our waters and then we order and our food comes, but we don't have plates. They'll send the food to you and it's like a sharing size plate, right? And we didn't have our own individual plates, which also meant that we didn't have utensils. So I was like, can we get some chopsticks? And my mom was like, yeah, can we get chopsticks? And the woman who had seated us realizes that we're not waiting to be seated somewhere else. We just ordered our food because my mom didn't listen to what she said. And in fact, if she listens to this PEGCAST, it'll be the first time that she hears of any of this, I assume.
So then she's like, oh, yeah, I'm so sorry we didn't get you your plates. And she gives us our plates. We're eating happily. Now I'm gonna go backwards a little bit. I'm gonna rewind our tale to tell you that, oh, hold on. I have to figure out how to turn into the gas station. What? Dude, it's like a whole 10 cents more expensive than usual. Well, whatever. I'll deal with it. But this is where I rewind to tell you that, when we're ordering, I was like, I can't decide what I'm gonna do, Mom. Should I get the noodle soup or should I get the fried noodles? And she's like, fried noodles? That sounds really interesting. And I was like, what? And she was like, that sounds so interesting. Like, I've never had that before. And I was like, Mom, please stop saying that out loud. I was like, please stop saying that out loud, Mom. 1 second, Penguins. I'm gonna connect my AirPods. Yeah, so she's like, ooh, the fried noodles. How exotic, basically. And I'm like, oh my God, please stop. Please stop. Like, I can't handle this right now. You know? Like, we're at, like, an establishment right now. We're out in public. We're surrounded by Asian families. We're surrounded by Asian workers. And you're out here saying that you want to try the fried noodles because it sounds interesting and you've never had them before. Like, what is this? Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? It's chow mein, bro. Um, so I was just so embarrassed, and it was so funny. And then, um, oh, I understand. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm paying for my gas. Um, Yippee. I have to do my little magic. I have to do my little magic, everybody. Beep, beep, beep. One moment, please. Okay, I'm gonna get my unlimited with Dino Care now. Oh, unlimited with Dino Care. Boom. Okay, cool. But yeah, it was just killing me. My mom was saying that. Uh, that made me laugh so hard. And then I think they also caught the vibes that my mom was like a white woman at like roughly the age of 50, you know, because they were treating us so well. They were like giving us so much care than everyone else. It was crazy. Or so much more care than everyone else. Like they they like kept tending to us and asking us like how our food was and asking us if we wanted anything and just like being overly sweet and really kind. And I was looking around, there's a very small restaurant and we're sitting in the middle of it. They did not do this for any other family. It was just like to get the white people 5 stars because, you know, like white people tend to rate Asian establishments extremely low because of the customer service. And it was just killing me. It was killing me. And then we walk out, and I was like, Mom, they were giving us like the perfect white people treatment, bro. And she was like, what are you talking about? Like, that didn't happen. And I was like, yes, it did. They like asked us this, they asked us that. And like, they didn't do it to anyone else. um, and she was like, why do they think that white people want that? And I was like, because they do. And she was like, no, they don't. And I was like, your boyfriend is exactly the kind of person who would want that. And he is. There's this restaurant he doesn't like. He says that they're ageist. he says he says that Joy is ageist. He says that Joy is ageist. And Joy isn't ageist, dude. They just like you don't interact with them. You basically don't have a waiter. You go and order at the front and then you leave. Um so that just killed me. Hold on, penguins. I'm moving out of the way, and then I'm gonna pause and put my hazards on.
But yeah, penguins. So basically, he's exactly the kind of person who would want like perfect service, and for them to be all like really extra overly nice to you, because he literally thinks that this establishment that we love, this restaurant we love, he thinks they're ageist because they don't like talk with him like he's their old friend. But there's no one to talk to you. It's not that they're ageist, there's no one to talk to you. And it kills me. And my mom is like, who would even want that? Like, who would want this extra care? Like, why do they think we want that? And I'm like, they're right. They're right. White people do want all that extra care. Like, so that was particularly funny to me. That really got me. I have to find a place to make a U-turn now. It's not exactly proving easy. I could do it at any of these places, but I think I'll do it right here. Yeah, this is the easiest place. It's at a light. But that's my funny story. Sorry to leave you guys hanging on that cliff. Oh, I'm talking very loud. Sorry to leave you guys hanging on that cliff. But, that's my funny story, is that we went to the Chinese restaurant and they like doted on us like we were their most beloved customers of all time. My mom didn't even know, and she was like, fried noodles? That sounds like a delicacy! So that just murdered me. That murdered me. The whole thing was like so funny. But yeah, okay, so now I've finished talking about that, and I told you that I would also talk about like how I'm going to this interview. I might leave that for tomorrow though, because I am gonna have to drive to the interview, and it's gonna take roughly an hour. I thought it was gonna take 2, so I was like making sure I had a lot of stuff to talk about on the PEGCAST. But at this point, I don't think I need it. I think it's only going to be an hour, so I'll just talk about my interview and like how I'm anxious and the prep that I've done, and I'll like try to practice a little bit in the car maybe. Like I'll try to remember the things that I absolutely want to bring up. Like one of them, and you'll hear me say this again tomorrow, I'm sure, is I really want to remember to emphasize my optimism and how I share it with other people. Because I think that's one of the things that really makes me me, is I see the good in everything, and I love to love, you know? I love to love. Wait, I already talked about this last PEGCAST, didn't I? Because I was talking about the little birds. How, like, I share my joy of the little birds with the penguins, you know? But it's that, basically. And I really pride myself on that, and I think that is something unique. It's like a good trait, but not like an obvious one, or one that they will probably tell you about on like all these worksheets and stuff that tell you what you're supposed to say. Not that I've read them. And so, you know, it'll probably be fine. But I spoke with this one girl who's also in my major. She stopped by while I was working in the bookstore today, and like she was working, or sorry, I was working, she was coming to buy something, and I was like, yeah, I have my interview tomorrow, and she was like, well, you're very well spoken, so I think you'll probably do well. And I was like, thank you so much. And that was really nice to hear, because I think the only times that this person has heard me speak are in class and in the senior psych comps, like capstone project study sessions, because she's one of the people that hosts them. So that's nice, you know, it's nice to hear that. And then I've also like all the people around me are quite confident that I'll do well, you know. They're like, I'm sure you'll do fine, but, you know, here's my tip. That's what my professor said. I met with him this morning. He emailed me and said, like, hey, when do you want to meet? Because we should go over some stuff before you go to your interview, which was very nice of him. And we ended up meeting at 10 a.m. this morning. And we did 10 to 10:30, and then my class this morning was at 10:40. So this morning he was saying things like that, like, you know, you're probably going to do fine, but he gave me some really good advice about like things that I can do to make myself seem like a really competitive student, and a good choice for the program. And that's actually where I'm lacking the most. I think I'm good at describing like who I am, why I'm fit for the profession, and why I'm passionate about it and why I want to go there, but not necessarily why I will make the school look good, you know? So he gave me actually a lot of really good advice, and I'm very grateful for Professor Silver. If any of the Penguins are going to have kids and they want them to go into the field of evolutionary psychology, highly recommend getting in contact with Professor Silver. He's awesome. He's awesome, dude. I played Mario Party with him once, and then he said that we should play Marvel Rivals together, so that's the vibes, you know? He's pretty awesome. I asked him who he played, and instead of telling me the character that he played, he misunderstood and thought I was asking who he plays with. And he's like, I play with some friends from home, but one of my friends, like, is friends with a professional baseball player, like an MLB player. And I don't remember what team he plays for or who he is, but apparently my professor is friends with like a baseball pro, and this baseball pro is cracked at Marvel Rivals. So that's pretty funny. Everybody, it's raining right now. It's sprinkling really lightly, but it's enough that the floor is very wet. And I don't know if you Penguins are aware of this, but that's the most dangerous time to drive. It's when the road is the slipperiest. Do you know that, Penguins? Do you know why? Why, Bat Peg? Well, it's because when the rain falls, the water seeps into the crevices in the floor and pushes the oil up to the surface. And then all the oil is sitting on the track, or sitting on the road, right? And when the oil is on... Sorry, I'm focused on merging right now. There's a car coming past me on my left, and then I want to get over there. So when the oil is on the road, it will eventually get washed away, right? But it doesn't happen right away because there's not that much water when it only just is beginning to rain. And that means that just after it's begun raining is when it's the slipperiest. Which is not what you would think, because you would think like the more water, the slipperier. But really it's the oil that's been pushed up from the water seeping into the floor. Guys, there's a metro train right now to my left, like in between the two parts of the highway. And because there's a stop right here, they're slowing down, and I'm actually going way faster than the train. It feels so cool. I'm going way faster than the train, and I'm going 50 miles an hour. Wow, that was awesome. Okay, and then this other thing I wanted to talk about was the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. So, I watched another episode today because I caught up with all the shows I'm watching that are airing this season. So, I'm all caught up on Sorairo Utility, which is the golf anime. I'm all caught up on Zenshu, which is the anime about the animator that's secretly an isekai. And I'm all caught up on Dragon Ball Daima, which is the Dragon Ball show that I freaking dislike. And because of that, I'm back on the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. When I'm done with the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, I'm going to go back and finish the first season of Fruits Basket, because I started that and it's Gabe's favorite anime. And we all love Oniki Pig. We all love Gabe. So that's the gist. Is I have to finish Haruhi. And after I watch Haruhi, I get to watch the movie. I don't know if you Penguins remember, but last time I was ranting about the Endless Eight and the character traits of Nagato, right? And just because of that, I've been paying attention to more things in the show. Like, even in this next arc, they're filming a movie. And at some point they're in the cafe, and everyone else is just chatting and trying to figure out the logistics of everything they're doing. But then Nagato is just, like, sitting there and sipping from her straw, like, little bits at a time. She's like, slurp, 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 slurp. And it's so fun to see her do, like, childish things while she is this, like, I mean, guys, I guess spoiler warning. But, you know, if you need to watch The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, then go do that. And I'm going to be talking about it a little bit now, but... Okay, 3, 2, 1, spoilers. So, it's funny to see Nagato, like, slurping from her straw in, like, such a childish way, because she's, like, this basically omnipotent being. She is she's an alien, but really she's, like, a physical manifestation of the thought entity, which is, like, a being made up solely from information. So there's no physical presence to it at all. And because she has this physicality, she's experiencing the world in a physical way for the very first time. So it would make her do things like suck from the straw really goofily, or, you know, just do things like that. She's typically very stoic, but, you know, she has her own little ways of having fun in ways that aren't obtrusive or obstructive to the group, in ways that won't, like, get in their way or do anything like that. So I find that really interesting. And then the other thing I was talking about, and this is particularly interesting if we believe that Haruhi is in fact basically God, right? It's more interesting if we believe that Haruhi is basically the god and she is changing things, as opposed to what other people have considered, which is that Kyon is actually the god, and when Haruhi wants something and then it comes to be, it's actually Kyon wanting it because he wants Haruhi to be special, right? I don't necessarily think that's the case, but we're going to have to assume that Haruhi is God for the next part to be really interesting to me. And that is that there's like a climax. There's like a really intense moment while they're recording the film where Churyu, what's her name? The green-haired girl. The one from the sideshow called like Nyoron something-san. The green-haired girl. She is told by Haruhi that she should spike Mikuru's drink to get her drunk. And this is after Haruhi has already been pushing Mikuru to her limit and, like, basically harassing her. And then they're gonna record a scene of the movie that just goes too far, where, like, they're gonna kiss Mikuru, and in order to get her to do it and to act sexy, is what Haruhi says, they get her drunk. And Kyon doesn't stand for this. And it's the first time that he's really stood up and yelled at Haruhi. And he was even going to hit her if Koizumi didn't stop him. And it was like this super intense shot, or this super intense moment. And it was made even more intense by the way that they changed the lighting for the scene. It made everything feel extremely intense. And, like, it was palpable, the drama and the intensity of the situation. Like, I was feeling stressed watching it, and I've seen it before. I didn't remember it, though. Like, I don't remember what happens next, actually, for this part. Other than that they make the movie, and that there's a cat. And I think the cat has the ability to talk, and they have to hide that. But I don't really remember, because I haven't watched that episode yet. And so, you know, Kyon stands up for Mikuru and is, like, super angry at Haruhi. And the last time that Haruhi really was feeling melancholic during the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, which is the arc, the Melancholy. The last time that this happened, she, you know, not intentionally, of course, subconsciously, created a, like, zone where these monsters were going to destroy the whole world, and then their theory, all the main characters, their theory of what was going to happen next was that Haruhi was going to reconstruct the world as she saw fit. And they don't want that to happen because they all enjoy the life that they have and want to continue living, right? So Haruhi, this time, gets in this huge fight with Kyon. And Koizumi feels like Koizumi explains to Kyon that the reason that Haruhi is so upset is because she felt that no matter what she did, Kyon would always take her side and always support her. And in this instance, Kyon was fighting against her, like yelling at her and threatening to hit her, right? So that's crazy. That's freaking insane. And you would expect that Haruhi would open up what they're called like another enclosed space where there's a big monster that's going to destroy the world again so that she can rebuild it. But this doesn't happen, and she's just sitting there feeling sad, right? And, you know, you can sit and speculate about this there are like a million different reasons that this might happen. And Koizumi said, I guess she's just too busy being, like, melancholic to be angry and try to restart the world or whatever. I don't remember what he said exactly, but that was the gist of it. But then Taniguchi is talking to Kyon, and he's like, stupid Haruhi, like, I don't even like her, her movie's gonna suck. And then Kyon is like getting defensive about it and blah blah blah. He has this realization that he is being a total dweeb, just like Taniguchi, and saying like, I hate Haruhi, but actually he still cares about Haruhi and wants to be involved with her. And he doesn't want to be a loser like Taniguchi, so he goes up to her, and I love this moment. He says to Haruhi, he goes up to her and says to her, we have to finish this movie no matter what. And this is like a double-edged, this is a two-sided comment, right? Because he's talking about how he's no different from Taniguchi, who's being a total loser in this situation. Taniguchi was saying, Haruhi's never even going to finish this movie, it's going to suck, there won't even be any finished projects, it's so lame. So Kyon walks up and says, out of what seems like spite, we have to finish this movie. And what's implied there is, parentheses, to prove Taniguchi wrong. But he doesn't say to prove Taniguchi wrong, which, you know, leaves it open for interpretation a little bit why he's saying that. And the reason he's saying this also is because, as frustrated as he is with Haruhi, he wants to be with her and spend time with her because he loves her, I think. And so in this way, he's the same as Taniguchi. So he's not just taking out his frustrations about Taniguchi, he's also, in this moment, realizing not that he's a loser, but that he loves Haruhi, and that even when she's being so ridiculous and unreasonable, like, he enjoys his chaotic, fun life with Haruhi in it, and also enjoys her presence, even though she can be so frustrating and overbearing sometimes. So there's like it's like two sides to the same story here. And I really liked that. I thought that was a really, like, awesome moment. And then also, back to why Haruhi didn't destroy the world, when Kyon walks into the room, she's putting her hair up in a ponytail. And this is because the way that Kyon brought Haruhi back from the first time that she was going to, like, destroy the world was, he was saying, like, you look great with a ponytail, basically. And because Haruhi, like, has a crush on him, and so it seems that this time, as she has grown more and more to care about other people by having fun with the SOS Brigade, her club, she has finally grown to the point that rather than just being immature and saying the whole world is at fault here, nothing is right, the whole world needs to be redone, things need to be fundamentally changed, even on a subconscious level now, she is instead feeling like, I just want Kyon to like me again. Like, maybe I did go too far this time. Maybe I was pushing my luck and just trying to, like, have as much fun as I could and go crazy. Maybe I was caught up in a little bit too much of a cycle this time when I was creating this movie. All I really want is for Kyon to like me again. So she's putting up her hair in a ponytail in the way that Kyon said that he liked back forever ago. Because she's thinking about these sorts of things. And that's not explained to you, but this character development is shown because her subconscious doesn't try to destroy the world. It just tries to... her subconscious doesn't try to destroy the world. She just wants to be with Kyon again. So, I thought that was really beautiful. And the way that this show handles character development is so subtle. Because Haruhi is still a total brat. And she always wants to get her way. And she won't settle for anything that anyone else says. And once she has her mind set, she knows what she's going to do, and she's going to do it, even if it's, like, at the expense of other people. And she treats Mikuru like she's her toy, and even says at one point that Mikuru is her toy. But she is starting very gradually, and in a realistic, like, pace, to understand what it means to think about other people and care about other people, and treat them with respect, and ensure that they love you as much as you love them. And I just found that beautiful. I really have been thoroughly enjoying the way that this show handles its characters. I really enjoy character-driven shows, is basically what I was trying to say when I wrote my little addendum to the review. I enjoy character-driven stories more than story-driven stories. Because there's so much to explore in the human condition, if you will. And you can explore it through so many crazy ways. Like, we're seeing this girl who is basically God. She says, I wish that all these pigeons were white. And then Kyon and Koizumi go to the place later, and they see that all the pigeons are white, you know? Like, she has this, like, godly power to change the world, but it's an exploration instead of, like, her maturing, and Kyon maturing as well, because Haruhi is far too loose, and Kyon is far too uptight, and they both have to realize that they care a lot about each other, and they're allowed to put their defenses down, and they're allowed to just be themselves without having to put on this grand charade. But just the fact that we're exploring that through this crazy story with, like, you know, it starts off with Kyon being, like, super Chunibyo. Like, I always wished that there were aliens, espers, and future people, but there aren't, and I gave up on that. But then Haruhi has Chunibyo, but then it's real? Duh? Like, it sounds so stupid, but it's just another fun way to explore the inner workings of how people learn to love. And it's so fun. It's so fun. I just want to sit and watch Haruhi. Instead, I'm going to be driving to freaking the University of Redlands tomorrow, dude. I'm stressed out. I'm also going to bed pretty early tonight. And in order to help me do that, I have two methods. Method number one, I have this eye mask. And it's great, man. I love this eye mask. I might do a review on it, honestly, now that I've used it so much. And the second thing is, if that doesn't work, I have my AirPods, and also I can just play it out loud, but I could play a YouTube video, and there are some YouTube videos, like some YouTubers, that pretty consistently will help me get to sleep. Like Summoning Salt. Summoning Salt will help me get to sleep. I've been listening to some of the Scott's Stash videos, but only certain kinds. And also, I think her name is Yewfnet, like YEWFnet. She's this, like, very new YouTuber who's been making videos about just niche gaming topics and collectibles. And they're, like, pretty interesting videos. Like, I quite enjoy them. One came out today, actually, about Sonic McDonald's plug-in, like Sonic McDonald's LCD toys. So that's pretty fun. Whoa, that guy just drove past me on a part of the road that there's no lane for. I don't know why either. Like, there's nobody here. It's not... I don't know, man. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Well, I'm almost there, Penguins. Wait, I'm not almost there. Why did my ETA go up by, like, 5 minutes? What happened? Maybe it's because I'm going, like, under the speed limit. I'm hitting the speed limit now. Well, not hitting it, but I'm like 1 under it. I'm 39 in a 40. So, maybe now my ETA will improve. Hooray, it went down a minute. Haha, get it, guys? Because probably a minute passed since it was going to be that minute. You know? I'm probably just a minute closer is basically what I'm trying to say. Get it, guys? So I was kind of stressed out trying to figure out what I'm going to eat tomorrow morning. And the reason for that, I'm actually at a red light, and I think that my dad texted me, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'm going to check right now, you guys. I'm going to check. He said, what time do you think you're going to go to sleep tonight? I'm going to reply because I'm at a red light. 11. By 11 latest. Or by 11. I'm just going to say by 11. I really shouldn't do later than that. Okay. Cool. Well, this is a nice long red light at a big intersection. So, I'm glad that I was able to send that message very safely. Guys, this one's basically over the river and through the Woodspeg. You ever think about that? Because it's to grandmother's house we go, Peg. I wonder if you guys figured it out. Yeah. Comment below if you understood why the episode was called Over the River and Through the Woodspeg before I just said that. Comment below if you got it, if you got the joke before I just explained it to you. And you can explain why you didn't get the joke too. So if it's just because you didn't pay attention to the title or you didn't think about it, you're totally welcome to tell me that. I'm not gonna, like, call you on your BS or whatever and say that you're lying. But if you did get it, then that's freaking crazy, guys. That's freaking crazy. That's crazy. Oh, dude. Another crazy thing. So, there were just these fires in Los Angeles, right? And I have a Sanrio account linked with my email, and I think they must know where I live. Because I received an email last night, that was like, from Sanrio, basically, we're so sorry to hear about the fires. Here is $50 off so that you can start to rebuild your collection. And That's friggin' cool. Right? I mean, like, it's $50 free. And they said, use the code below to get your $50. Here's where the problem arises. They didn't send me one. There was no code. So, first of all, I'm like, is this a scam? The thing is, there's no code, like, anywhere for me to do anything. So I couldn't tell if it was a scam, but also it looked like a legit Sanrio email. So I look up the email that sent it to me, and sure enough, it's the real Sanrio support email. And it said either reply to this or send an email to the Sanrio support if you need help with anything. So I replied and said, hey, I don't see a code in my email. And then I went to bed. I wake up today to a new email, and the email says the exact same thing as the first one, but it has a button on it for a code. So, what do? I activate it, dude. I get my code. And then, with my code, I went shopping. And it was fun. I got to go shopping. I bought myself a little Hello Kitty plate. It's pretty awesome. There's like a minuscule chance that it arrives before this episode goes up of the PEGCAST. And if it does, then maybe if I remember, I'll make my thumbnail the picture of the plate. But no promises on that, because I don't know that I'll remember, and I don't know that even if I do remember, I don't know that the plate will arrive before this episode is set to air. So, yeah. I'm almost there now, guys. I'm less than 10 minutes out. And I'm excited to see my grandparents, honestly. I think they're probably quite tired. It's been a very difficult week for them. Like, it's been just troubles left and right, you know. But I'm excited to see them and say hi and hug them. This part of the road is really dark, though, because there are no, Sorry, guys, I yawned. This part of the road is really dark because there are no, streetlights. Well, there are now, but when I was saying it, there weren't. And there aren't on the other side of the road right now. What's weird, though, is, like, they didn't put any of those, like, luminescent strips up, really. Not many of them, anyways, and if they are there, they're not very bright. What they did put up is, like, so many no parking signs. And those no parking signs basically function as, like, the reflective things that show you that you can't, like, that the road is turning, you know? But now that I've driven up this big hill, I get to drive down it. Whee! Who is excited to drive down the hill? I'm feeling like a fast penguin right now. Guys, they started season 3 of Fast Penguin, and this one's like pirate themed. It's pretty tight. I just downloaded it on my school laptop, and I don't know if it's going to be able to run, but there's a chance that, like, in my classes where it's like I have one class where every once in a while there's just going to be like a discussion that I already know everything for, and I don't have to pay almost any attention. And when that day comes, I might get to play freaking Fast Penguin. Wouldn't it be crazy if I was playing Fast Penguin in class secretly while my professor talks? I hope he never watches this video. I hope he never finds it. I don't know how he would, but I hope he never finds it, because I really like him. He wrote me a letter of rec for a couple schools, and he's just very kind. He's very kind. I asked him a question today, and he was like, I kind of gotta go. So can we walk and talk? And I was like, yes, absolutely. But then, I ask him the question, and he stops outside the classroom and gives me a really good answer, like a pretty in-depth, legit answer. So that was really nice of him, even though he was clearly busy. And then I was busy too, dude. Like, it made me like probably a minute late for my class, but it didn't matter. Oh my gosh. Guys, I was complaining about the Sinclair prices. The Chevron I just passed, or I'm passing right now. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, everybody. It's crazy. This Chevron is 10? No. 20? No. 30? No. 40? No. 50? No. 60 cents more per gallon? What the heck? What the heck? Who's gonna get their gas at the Chevron? Who's gonna get their gas at the Chevron, everybody? Oh my goodness. That's just crazy, man. That's just crazy. That's so much friggin' money. You gotta be a gabillionaire to buy your friggin' gas at the Chevron right now. Another thing I like about Kyon is that he saw a really big house, and the first thing he said was, what evil do I have to commit to live in a place like this? Which is so awesome. That's so cool. Kyon, that's exactly how I think when I see someone with a rich home. So I think, what evils do I have to commit to live in a place like this? Also, upon rewatching this, I'm like thinking that Taniguchi is another thought entity. So do with that what you will. I'm not actually sure of it, but I don't know. His like fascination with Haruhi and the way he like ranks all the girls like a freak. I don't know, that's not real, but his like fascination with Haruhi is one thing, and also just the fact that he's like hanging around Kyon so much. I don't know. There are just parts of it that make me feel like maybe Taniguchi is another thought entity, just like Nagato and the blue-haired girl from man, I don't actually remember what arc that is, where the blue-haired girl goes rogue and Nagato has to fight her off. I'm stopped at a red light, everybody. I'm stopped at a red light. Another thing about this interview that's a little crazy right now, you guys, is I'm gonna be bald because I couldn't figure out a way to look formal and wear a baseball cap because, you know, that's what I wear every day. Sorry guys, I yawned. But yeah, there's like, I just wouldn't be very formal if I was wearing a baseball cap, and as a result, I am gonna go bald, so I have to like make sure that my head is like perfectly shaved tomorrow. Oh, that was the one thing I forgot, was I was gonna get lotion. But whatever. If there was anything to forget, it would be that. And maybe I can use some other lotion, question mark? I don't think I'll want to. Never mind, I won't use lotion. I don't like lotioning my head because it stays icky for so long, unless I use my Hey Humans Banana Aloe lotion, which is the one that I did a review on. Regrettably, Hey Humans is now defunct. The company is gone. Jada Smith could not maintain her, like, zero evil chemicals, like, I don't know, shampoo brand, whatever you call it, toiletries brand. So maybe Chris Ross should have punched Chris Ross a little bit harder. Oh, stop sign. And go. Another thing, everybody, is I think I'm going to take out my graphics card box and leave it here. Because I have my box for the GPU for my PC still in my car. And I have to have my back, my like trunk cover pulled over all the time. Otherwise, somebody could see that box and then have a really good reason to break into my car, even though the graphics card is not in that box. So I'm going to take that out when I get here. And also, I'm going to put up my little cat Bergamot and my Raichu. Because, guys, this interview, I'm actually doing it on Raichu Day, which is February 6th. Which is 2/6, because Raichu in the Pokedex is Pokemon number 26. He's one after Pikachu, which means that today I'm recording this on Pikachu Day. So happy Pikachu Day, everybody. Happy Pikachu Day. Maybe I'll bring that up in the live chat. In the live chat for the Batpig Wednesday. I'll say, happy Pikachu Day, everybody. And then when you guys hear me, make this video, or sorry, when you guys hear this PEGCAST, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I remember Pikachu Day. I remember Pikachu Day. Okie dokie. Time to park. Well, I made it, so anyways, guys, that's going to be the end of this episode. Like, subscribe, do all that great stuff, and yes, goodbye. Wish me luck. Actually, you don't have to wish me luck, because there'll be another PEGCAST before I do my interview. God willing, and the creek don't rise. Bye-bye.